throughout the day. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to create this navigation section using HTML and CSS. We're first going to create it as a solid nav, and then I'll show you how to do the transparent nav like you're seeing right here. Over in VS Code, the first thing I'm going to do is to create a hero section. It's a little difficult to try to do a navigation without first having a hero section. So I'm just going to add one here, wrap the text, and then I'm going to go ahead and preview it. So this is our hero section that we'll be working with. Now let's go ahead and begin creating the navigation bar. Now let's create our section for our navigation. So it's going to be a section with a class of nav1 and container. Within this section, I want to create a navigation tag. So you need to always use semantics when you're doing your HTML structure. It's better for you in the long run. So in here, we need three different sections. We need one for the logo. So I'm going to call this nav1 __ logo. We need an unordered list for the menu. And this unordered list is going to have 4 li sections, and each li section is going to have an anchor tag. And then finally, we're going to need another anchor tag for the button. Now I'm just going to add in the different links. So this one is going to be called solutions, reviews, process, and FAQ. Then for the button, I just wanted to say send a message. For the logo, I'm going to go ahead and import my image using an image tag, and the image is stored inside the navigation folder. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the page so far. Now you can see that we have the logo here and we have our links here. The logo is a bit too big. Let's go ahead and reduce the size of it first. So I'm going to select the container that the logo is in by its class name, and I'm going to target the image tag. I'm going to set the width to 220 pixels and then set the height to auto. Now when we go back to the page, you can see that the logo image is a bit smaller, but not everything is on top of each other. To fix that, we're going to target the nav tag itself. We're going to give it a display of flex and align items off center, justify content of space around. Then we want to do a padding top and a padding bottom. So a padding top of 0.7 rem, a padding bottom also of 0.7 rem. Background color, I'm going to just give it gray so I can then select a slightly darker gray and then save. So now we can look to see what we have. Okay, so here's our logo. We have a good background color. Before we target the links, we need to get rid of this white space here. This is being caused by the nav1 container. So above this, I'm going to go up and select nav1, and I'm going to set its padding to 0. Now when I go back to the page, those are gone. Let's continue. Now let's target the menu here. First, I'm going to give it a class. So I'm going to give this a class of nav1 __ menu. Then I'm going to target that class. Let's target it by the class name of nav1 __ menu. And then I'm going to give this a display of flex, a gap of 2 rem, and a list style of none. Back on our preview page, you can see that our menu links are now horizontal. Now let's go ahead and style the links themselves. Let's give each of the links a class of navlink. And then let's target that class in our CSS, that nav1 __ links. And now we want to give this a text decoration of none. We also want it to be white. So let's choose antique white. Then we also want to give this a transition of color, and let's make this 0.5 seconds. The reason why we're doing this is because we're going to also give this a hover feature. So nav __ links hover And when we hover, we want to change the color to not gray. Let's give it some sort of orange color, about that. Yeah, that works. Let's go back to the page. Now you see the underlines are gone and we have a nice simple hover effect. The links themselves are a little bit small and I need the weight to increase. So let's go ahead and target those. Let's access the nav1 underscore underscore menu class and let's target the LIs that are within it. We're going to give each of them a font size of variable size large. And we're also going to give it a font weight of 500. No, that's 5,000. There we go. So this is looking a bit better. Now let's sort out the send a message button. Let's first give it a class of nav1 underscore underscore btn. Then let's target that class nav1 underscore underscore btn. Let's give it a text decoration of none, a background color of orange. I'm going to adjust this just a bit, something like that. Then let's make the color, the text color, white. We want a font weight of 600, a padding of 1 rem and 2 rem, a border radius of 45 pixels should do. Let's also do a font size of about, I'm going to use my variable and make this small. We'll see how that turns out. And then let's also do a transition on the background color because we're going to change that on hover. 0.5 seconds. So now let's do the hover for it. So .nav1 underscore underscore btn hover, and on hover we're going to change the background color to gray. Let's take a look at what we have. So now here's our button. If we hover over it, we have a nice transition on the background color and our send a message looks good. Okay, and our navigation bar is complete. Now let me show you how to make this semi-transparent and fully transparent with just a few extra lines of code. Back in VS Code, we're going to go all the way back up to our nav container here, and we're going to set the position to absolute. What this will do is it will pull the navigation bar out of the normal flow. We can't see it right now because we need to also apply a z index to this. So I'm giving it a z index of 2. And now you can see the bar. We also need to give it its own width. So let's give it a width of 100%. And there we go. From here, I just need to either decrease the background color. If I do that, I get a semi-transparent background color like this. Or I can just set the background color to transparent. And then I get a fully transparent navigation bar. That is it. Thank you so much for watching. In the next video, I'll be showing you how to do this in WordPress using Elementor. And then beyond that, we will look at how we do a navigation bar for a mobile version, mobile and tablet version. So stick around for those and I'll see you then.